Oh man, what's up, world? What's going on, everybody? No, it's a little late in the day, and hope everybody's had a good day. And man, I'm not gonna keep you too long, but man, I wanted to talk about this actually tomorrow, but I was up for a few minutes. So I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and get it out the way because I don't think this is gonna take us too long to really kind of talk about. And we'll start off the video, man. And I normally don't. I'm normally not a big person on talking about other people on my channel, but I just I don't know, I kind of feel like this is a good one to kind of discuss a little bit. One, because I am in Dallas, I am in Texas, and you know, the character and the persona and the person is from the Metroplex too. So and also, so in my city, it does come up a lot. And just the other day I was asked about this person, what my personal thoughts were. And so I was like, well, you know what? Let me kind of delve more into, the message that, the person puts out. And the person is, of course, Charleston White from Fort Worth. Now, I lived in Fort Worth for a while. I used to stay out for Berry and University. I went to TCU, but I got some friends out of Como and Las Vegas Trail. Got some friends staying Stop Six. So, growing up in Dallas, initially, especially like in the early '90s, in the mid '90s, it was kind of, Fort Worth and Dallas really had this tension, right? It was like you from Dallas, you didn't deal with cats from Fort Worth, and if you from Fort Worth, you didn't deal with cats from Dallas. Dallas kind of perceived Fort Worth as being behind the times, or not as I guess not as up to date as Dallas, and a lot of Fort Worth dudes, I guess, perceive Dallas as too pretty boyish, I guess, whatever the case may be, right? So it's always been that tension there, but I guess for me it was a little bit different because I worked in Arlington at Six Flags when I was young, so I had a chance to meet some guys from Fort Worth and with some stand-up cats, and eventually I had to was fortunate enough to go to school in Fort Worth, coming out of South Oak Cliff. Was able to go to school in Fort Worth and was able to meet a whole lot of dudes out of the funk and gain my respect. And I got a lot of love for the funk. I actually, possibly will move back to Fort Worth when the opportunity presents itself. But anyway, so let's kind of get into it. So Charleston White from the phone, Fort Murder Worth, right? From the phone. And I kind of came into, I guess came into the knowledge of him a couple of years ago. He was doing these Facebook videos where he was dissing Dallas people, dissing Dallas, dissing, different hoods in Dallas. Not just dissing Dallas, he was dissing like a lot of dead rappers, a lot of, gang bangers, and, it was building up a lot of tension with it. It was like, man, where's this cat going with this? So so initially you didn't know if he was just being like comical, being a comedian, or if he really, meant some of the stuff that he was saying and may have or may does and may not. But, so I think that a lot of people initially, were like, man, who is this dude, man? He trolling, bro. And, a lot of people, took it to heart and were actually, I guess perceived or wanted to do something to this guy if he actually showed up in their city, neighborhood, XYZ. And so, after I kind of, got a chance to kind of, see him, hear him a couple of times, on YouTube, I mean, Facebook or whatever, I kind of like, some of the stuff that he was saying made sense. Like when he used to talk about the Donald Trump hats, and and talk, he going to the Trump rally to sell his hats, and a lot of the things he was saying did make sense, but a lot of the stuff I guess was negated through his positive messages because of some of the negativity, or some of the perceived negativity that he would put out there about, Nipsey, forget Nipsey Hustle and Dallas dudes is soft and y'all, woo woo and so I think a lot of the message kind of got lost and a lot of people got turned off and stopped listening to him, right? But I guess for me is that when I got proposed the question the other day, I was like, well, I ain't really heard nothing from him in a while. The last time I heard him, I really felt like a lot of the stuff that he was saying, even though a lot of the stuff he was saying, really kind of negated the positive things he was saying. He was smoking weed, cursing all the time, and then, I know he, works with the youth and works with kids. And so to me, it's like, I guess initially it was like, how can you be a role model to the youth? But then when they see you on YouTube or the messages that they see on Facebook, the messages that you put out are negative, or very controversial, right? But okay, so he had a video. I ended up watching it. I watched a few of them, like 3 or 4 videos. Of course, I watched the 3 with the Vlad, and and a couple other videos where he talks about his character that he puts out on the internet. And so I got the chance to listen to him what he was saying, and he was basically saying that it's a shame that pretty much you had to develop this persona or this character for people to even listen to you on the internet. And he was basically saying that, if he was putting out a positive message and he was just trying to, encourage people to, you know, do some of the things that he puts out during his positive messages, people would not listen. People would not take heed. He referred to, like, Tupac, when Tupac said, find a weakness to the game and exploit it, and sold it up. And so, he made a reference to what he did was he said, well, I got this message I'm trying to get out here. And how can I get this message out here? And, with the rappers pushing this demon culture, it's demon time, and, all these killings and murders, and, this, negative talk, and, all of that seems to be, more gratifying and consuming more of our attention and more of our minds, right? So he said he adopted a persona to pull people in. And once he got them in, if you would listen to his other messages, then you will see, I guess the whole person, what he was trying to actually get across. So it made sense to me, and of course, with any person that I listen to, I don't agree with nobody 100%, not all of the time. Just I don't expect somebody to agree with me all of the time. Different perspectives come, with culture, comes from, maybe what city you born in, what state you born in, what country you live in, so just because something works for somebody some way doesn't necessarily mean it might work for you in your state. But um, when you speak your truth, that's your truth. And I think that we all can agree that, a lot of the things that I've heard him kind of speak on over the last few videos were true, and we're not harmful to the Black community. Now he talks about his story when he was a kid, that his mother worked, I believe, at Lockheed Martin, either Lockheed, no, GM, at the GM plant. So she made pretty good money financially. But, he had this longing to be in the streets, hang out with the guys in the hood. But he didn't have to because his mother did pretty good financially. And the only thing he had to do was kind of, you know, make good grades, go to school, and he would be taken care of. But he had this longing to be in the streets, to be in the hood. And he kind of attributed that to the music, because of course the music is targeted to our youth because the youth have impressionable minds. And he also attributed to like the movies like Colors and things like that, because a lot of people did not know about gangs until this movie had came out. So, being of a young mind, he goes and talks about how him and his friends were trying to steal some starter jackets out the mall. As they left the mall, ran out, I guess a Good Samaritan was trying to stop them. And unfortunately, he gave a gun to his friend, told his friend to shoot the guy. Friend shot the guy. The guy, the white man, it was a white guy. The white guy ended up dying, and was just married. Believe that the guy was in his early 30s. And he talks about how he had to go to the penitentiary behind it, and a couple of his other friends did too. One of them, I believe, died, and the other was still, I believe, in jail. and he had to go serve his time. And then during that time, he went to like boot camp and XYZ, and had a kind of chance to see the error of his ways, which is understandable because you have, growing up in the hood, you have a lot of kids who do have it more, do are well off, but for some reason they want to, live that hood life. I had friends who lived in the suburbs who end up, for whatever reason, coming to the schools in Oak Cliff. But instead of, being the suburb kids and, just, bringing that mindset into the hood, they wanted to adapt to the hood mindset, which we always saw as backwards because, coming from the hood, you want to get out and you want to expect somebody who's not in the hood to lust for that type of behavior and lust for that type of reputation. But you had it. Guys who had two-parent homes, two-story homes, one-parent homes that were well off, they had this longing to, run with the, just run with the run with the guys in the hood that was, thugging or whatever the case may be, right? So, anyway, so he goes on to talk about that, and then talks a lot about how the culture, the black culture, just pretty much gravitates to the negativity, right? How all the violence that's going on in our community seems to be more accepted and more acceptable than the positivity. Talks about like the rappers, he did, I know he disses a lot of rappers. He talked about how he united the Crips and Bloods because they all mad and want to get him, but he talks the truth as far as like a lot of these gangs and a lot of these rappers or these guys who are here, tough guys, they're only being tough towards their own people. They're only killing each other, which is something that definitely has to be addressed, in the black community, because a lot of people are going to tell you that, oh, black on black crime, that don't count. It's all about white on black crime or, Hispanic on black crime or Asian on black crime. Well, we have to address what's going on, the self-inflicted wounds that go on in our own community. So black on black crime is rampant in our neighborhoods, and you can't be afraid to talk about it and try to make a change because it's almost embarrassing, when it's publicized and put out there, and then these other races, that's all they see you as before they get to know you as a person, they see you as, oh, okay, it's a black person. You got to be on your P's and Q's. They may be stuck on some ignorant behavior, but you may not even have that type of mindset, but you have to come in and make sure you prove yourself each time versus a person of another race who may be like Indian or white or Asian. Then the perception is flipped. Then they think that, oh, it's an Asian guy coming in, he must be smart. Oh, it's a white guy coming in, he must be smart. They hired a Hispanic male or Hispanic female, they must be smart, right? But you hire this black person, oh my God, hey, they probably ghetto, they probably just like, nah, and that should not be. But the culture places that label on us, and so he talks a lot about that, and I think it's very relevant now. I think that, of course, he's playing. It's a dangerous game. That he has to play because some people can take the character, that he portrays. When he's, riling everybody up, could take it the wrong way and miss the message entirely. But I think that if you go listen to his interviews, like on Vlad or whatnot, he tries to push, a pretty decent, pretty common, a pretty decent message. And if I'm not mistaken, now I have to kind of check it again, but I don't think he does too much cursing on some of them interviews either. He does, he does, and he used the N word, but I don't think he makes it to where too vulgar to where you may not let, maybe I got a teenage son or daughter listen to some of that information, which is I believe that what he try to specialize in working with is the kids. So I'm not gonna harp on that too much. I'm not gonna get on the Charleston White rant too deep. I just think that you kind of gotta, it's kind of like a lemon, right? The lemon is sour, but the lemon also has all the vitamin C. It's very healthy for you. So sometimes when you listen to them, you gotta kind of gotta look at it like that. Like, sometimes it's gonna be a little rough to hear, but it's necessary because some of the stuff I believe, that he speaks is necessary, man. When it comes down to, our concern and our detriment, uh, in our community. And are we gonna fix this or just continue to, kill each other, promote violence, and allow those that don't like us to pretty much continue to dominate us and use us to fatten their pockets while we lay dead in the grave, and not leave our families nothing, and leave it up to our kids to try to figure it out. And so we do have to stop this. So that's what I'm gonna leave on that. Like I said, I don't agree with everything he says, but I do think he makes some valid points. I don't really, when I hear him, doing some of the character stuff that he does, I don't typically pay attention to it too much. So, but I'd rather just take the positive, out of his messages and utilize that and try to help spread the word because it is necessary to be talked about. And so I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Brittney Griner, Donald Trump, a little bit, and I guess the substitute teacher situation, and the kids being disrespectful to our teachers. So you have Brittney Griner, right, basketball player, that was arrested in Russia, right, for the taking a hash, and I'm not really, I guess for me, I don't really feel too sorry for the young lady. Of course, I don't want nothing bad happening on nobody. But at the same time, I really feel like that she's a grown woman. She had, she possibly, I'm pretty sure she knew better. Now, whether she knew she had the hash and the vape pen or whatever the case may have been or not, she could have just made an honest mistake. But at the same time, sure, you can be riding around in the hood with a blunt or something and be like, oh shoot, I know it's illegal and I ain't supposed to have it. But if the laws jam you up with it, it's up to their discretion if they want to let you go or not, right? So you got to really be careful, when you put yourself in those type of situations. And she's a celebrity, man. So hey, it is what it is. I heard that she used to take the kneel down at the basketball games or whatever, but now she's kneeling, against the flag. But then, like Tatum said, man, you kneeling during the national anthem, but you want the United States to come save you. So I thought that was a good point. Like, all right, be careful doing some of the things you do, and then you get jammed up, and then you calling on the United States to, help defend your situation. So, that's unfortunate for Brittney, but it is what it is. I hope she figures that out. Maybe they'll release her, because like I said, that she was facing up to 10 years. So hopefully that won't be the case, man. But I just want to speak on that real quick. But so anyway, man, I also want to talk about this situation here in DeSoto, Texas, right, where we had a substitute teacher actually get hit in the head with a chair. Let's see. I'm sure I can pull it up. All right, so it's substitute. There you go. Got hit in the head with a chair. One of the students that came into the classroom, I guess, being disrespectful and threw a chair at the substitute. I believe a 70-year-old man, and he threw the chair back. I will show the video, but I'm pretty sure most of us have already seen the video. But it comes to just to kind of speak about to what your boy Charleston was talking about, but not just him. Many of us, and what's becoming more and more normalized, seems like in our community. Man, our kids and our youth are really starting to get out of control, and it's always been like that. Youth have always been, a little bit rambunctious when it come down to education and then being in the school, especially when like substitutes. That just always was a thing. But getting to the point where we picking up, throwing at chairs, you snatching wigs off of teachers' heads. And what I noticed being in education is that a lot of the times, the parents do not step up to discipline these kids, and they don't, they typically take the side of the kid and it's getting really problematic to the point to where many educators are leaving the field in fear of this because they didn't take and took religion out of school. You can't pray, you can't paddle, you can't really even suspend the kids anymore. And so they really pretty much leaving you defenseless. A lot of people don't even, schools don't even want to send the kids to alternative school. So it's because it's a lengthy process, right? And so now we kind of leaving these teachers in a situation where they could be harmed and more defenseless. And it's not fair to the educators, and it's really not fair to the kids because when these kids get older and they come in the face with reality, then reality gonna hit them hard because the laws ain't playing with you. Them police officers ain't playing with you. That prosecutor and that DA and that judge, they ain't playing with you. So having these situations where we letting these kids off the hook, not really giving them the discipline, and even the parents, letting them off the hook, it's not fair to the kid. It's not fair to the educators. So we need to put ourselves. We need to put ourselves in more. I guess in more aggressive type of situations where we can actually, plead with the school districts, to senators, to mayors, state representatives to get discipline or have more tools in the tool bag for teachers to actually have more discipline and control over these kids, man. Because the social media, these rappers, these entertainers, man, they pushing this horrible mindset on our kids, and they bringing that right into the schools, and it's starting to show. And DeSoto was supposed to be like in Dallas, where if you're from this area, or whatever, DeSoto is supposed to be like a suburb type school. And obviously, if it's happening in the suburb, you already know what's happening in the hood. So there's another video, another situation that happened. It's pretty old. It's not that old, but I'm pretty sure many of you guys have already seen it. But it's a similar situation to where you had a young lady snatch the wig off the teacher head. They're right here. So. Right. And so, man, ha 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 ha. I mean, kids are gonna be kids, man, right? Kids are gonna be kids, but we getting to the point to where, they broadcasting it all over TikTok. We laugh and we just, like I said, you running a lot of people off that could really be there to help you out. And then you see all the other kids, they laughing, joking it up, having a good time. And not trying to say that when I was growing up, things like that didn't happen and we didn't make mistakes, X, Y, Z. But does that make it right? Just because we made mistakes and did similar stuff, or not even, whatever the case may have been, that don't make it right. Oh, we all do stuff like that. We didn't all this. That don't make it right, bro. That don't make it right. And so, a lot of people gonna say, well, kids are gonna be kids and X, Y, Z. I understand that, but that does not make it right. That's embarrassing. Of course, all the kids, put it all on YouTube. They got the laughing emojis on TikTok or whatever it was at. But that's where we at now. To where, the kids just have no respect for the adults. The adults are losing respect for the kids. And then we got these parents who, having these kids, out of wedlock, not even considering getting married. They just, it's being normalized. This baby daddy, baby mama culture in the Black community is so normalized, man, to the point to where it almost makes it seem hopeless. Like, why are we even trying? Why am I making this video right now? Like, it makes you just want to just like, what? Let me close my laptop, delete these videos, and let me just, share a bunch of, foolishness, or not even foolishness. It's just not even worry about this. Maybe it'll sort itself out, but let me just buckle down and take care of my own family, because it seems like nobody cares. And the more you talk about it, it seems like the more people see you as an outcast. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get out here and talk about empowering our people, black people, and stop with the foolishness, stop the violence, and you ain't got to go get this butt implant. You ain't got to go go out here and hit no licks, and you can go you can go be educated. You can go to college. You can get you a degree. You can go be an attorney, a lawyer, anesthesiologist, or orthodontist. People look at you like, man, whatever, man. And so, it becomes almost discouraging just to keep trying to push this message. But, for those of us, that is in their heart to do, you're not gonna be able to run from what's in your heart. What God has called you here to do. And ultimately that's what it's about, because we are gonna pass away. We're not gonna be here forever. So you gotta just, do what's right, try to make the world a better place before you leave. And that leads me to another little point real quick before I talk about Trump, is that, man, you really ain't got no friends, man. If you do, you may have one or two or three or four, but typically more than that, man, you got hanger-ons. And once you fall off, something happened to you, you're gonna really see who your real friends are. That's why, when I get on Facebook, AKA Facebook, you got 3,000 friends, but let you post something, you might get 5, 10, 15 likes. If you post maybe a new picture, if you ain't post one in a while, you might get 100 likes. But for the most part, if you're not really, putting nothing on there, like, somebody, in a, something skimpy on, they bra and, showing their butt, this, that, and the third, you're not really gonna get a lot of, a lot of likes, a lot of support. If you get on there talking about what I be talking about, you sure gonna get 4 or 5 likes. That's it. It's not gonna be a lot of people trying to share that message. And it's just gotten to the point to where it's like, why do I have 3,000 friends in my friends list? I really ain't got no friends. But let you pass away, let you die tomorrow, or let you die today. Watch how many of those people gonna jump on your post when you ain't ready to see it because you gonna be gone. But I promise you, all those people gonna jump on your Facebook page and gonna swear up and down how close you were. And many of them people you haven't talked to face to face or even on the telephone in months or even years. But everybody gonna swear how close y'all were, something happens to you. And so that's why I call it fake book, man. And if I really I contemplate just getting rid of that site, but of course I have my clothing line, so I got to market my clothing line some way. But for the most part, man, you really don't have no friends, man, and you just need to move how you move and surround yourself with like-minded people. To me, that turns out to be a lot better way to go. You can have your family and friends, and remember, your family, those people have God-given titles, right? So your brother is your brother through blood. Your mother is your mother through blood. Your father is your father through blood. Your cousins are your cousins through blood. Those are God-given titles. You can't change those titles. But a friend is a man-made title. A boss, the manager, the mayor, the president, the vice president, those are man-made titles. And every man-made title can change at any moment. You can go from being my friend to not being my friend in a split second, because that's a man-made title. But if you born my brother or my sister, you always be my brother and my sister, regardless of how I feel about it, because that's a God-given title. That's something I can't change. So, like I say, man, just try to minimize and watch those who call yourselves your friends, because, you really don't really have too many friends, man, just to be honest. And so it's best to, surround yourself with like-minded people and keep moving, man, because, it's a lot of fakeness out there, and you'll waste a lot of time trying to satisfy and please fake people and fake relationships, like trying to impress another person, leave you smooth in the joint, doing that stupid stuff, trying to impress somebody that wasn't even real with you in the first place. So, just watch that, man, and try to give you people a little game, man. But anyways, I guess the last thing I was gonna talk about is I was watching the Donald Trump rally today. So Donald Trump, he was on, and of course, he's looking to run again. And I think that it was a good situation. I mean, a lot of us talk about, Donald Trump was racist, this, that, and the third. Well, to me, if he was racist towards black people, I just want somebody to tell me. I know he called Africa, I know he said something about Africa in their countries. But as far as black Americans went, I don't really remember him doing, maybe his supporters did, but I don't remember him doing anything to, hurt our community. I know Joe Biden did the crime bill, which broke up a lot of black homes. And, he used to work with Strong Thurmond, who was a devout white supremacist, right? I know Donald Trump, he had proposed that $500 billion to help support black businesses. He also, during the COVID times, he did the PPP loans, and many black people know who try to get business loans. It's almost impossible to get. They'll give you a car loan. They barely give you a house loan, a home loan, and they almost never give you a business loan. But during the COVID time, when they had the PPP loans, it seemed like everybody was able to get a business loan. And for many of us, it was our first time to get business loans. And that was all under Trump. And he funded the HBCUs for 10 years, because he had been, the HBCUs used to have to come to the White House to get funding almost every year or every couple of years. And Donald Trump was like, hey man, what can I do to keep you guys from having to come up here, every year? And so he funded them for 10 years. He pardoned Kodak Black, and I think Lil Wayne and some more people, even though they are rappers and they don't really do nothing for the community. So he could have saved those pardons and gave them to some people, that may be more meaningful. But he did do that. I have yet to see Joe Biden and his administration do anything to, remotely benefit Black Americans. They still, you know, they took away the wall. They still haven't completed the wall, and we know that in the Black community, there are illegal immigrants, who flooded the zone. And, I guess I can't really say too much about illegal immigrants, because if the opportunities present themselves, I catch you slipping, then I'm gonna take advantage of it, I guess like anybody else would. But for, I guess, the Black Americans who feel disenfranchised through slavery and, Jim Crow and the oppressive acts and things that we still trying to overcome, it almost seems like they flooding these people in the zone to basically block us out of, our come up. They, they're working in our industries, and many of them come over here, not all of them, but many of them that come over here, they are racist. And I'll be honest, or they are biased towards Black people. A lot of them don't like Black people. And when you talk to a lot of them, a lot of them, they act arrogant towards you. Not all of them, you got some Hispanics who cool, a lot of them, keep it 100, but many of them, a good chunk of them, they're arrogant, they act, and they say the more educated they get, the more Republican they come, which is here or there, but they act with a more white supremacist type of mindset towards Black people, right? And so, maybe it's just because they only want to deal with people in their own culture, whatever the case may be. But I just know that a lot of them are not friendly towards Black people, just point blank, period. But many of the immigrants that come here are not. The Asians aren't really that friendly towards Black people. The Arabs are not really that friendly towards Black people. But when it comes down to supporting these people, we pulling up to their stores. We paying, we are patronizing them, and we are the ones who allow them monetarily to send their kids to colleges. And we are the ones, because we patronize them so much, they can get more business loans, and they can go stay in these nicer homes and these suburb neighborhoods, because they put all they, businesses in our neighborhoods, right? But they won't let you come to their neighborhoods and open up nothing. And so we got to really kind of watch that. So, I know with the Democrats, they more liberal, and they more open on the immigration thing. And with Trump, I know they was doing a while. He was reforming that immigration. We weren't trying to have that, because he see it like we see it. And I'm just being honest. And I know a lot of people don't like that type of talk about the immigrant talk, but man, you got to be honest. Democrats just gave $13.6 billion to Ukraine to help support Ukraine, and I'm pretty sure that's not the end. They gave a few billion away to the Afghan refugees. They talked about giving $450,000 per person to the immigrants separated at the border. And we haven't even, like I said last time, we haven't even made a drop, a first installment towards a reparations package. And you got these other cities who passing like little reparations, housing bills or housing subsidies. But a lot of black people feel like, hey man, I don't want that. Just cut me my check. Do me like you're doing the Ukrainians. Do me like you're doing the Jewish community, when they're giving them, what's it like 3 billion, 3 trillion, or something like that every year, to help support them. When you just paid, gave this money to these Afghanistan refugees. If all these people can receive tangible money, why can't we? Why can't we? We could have took 13.6 billion and divided that up between 30 million Black Americans, the African American descendant of slaves, or Black American descendant of slaves, or foundational Black Americans, however you want to label it. But they're not doing that, and so I really feel like with Trump, it's gonna probably be a better fight. He even today he even talked about ending CRT, critical race theory. For those of y'all that may or may not know, the critical race theory is where you really can't go into schools and talk about oppressive history, what they consider oppressive history, like slavery, or how the Europeans enslaved the Africans here in the United States, or XYZ. They said because it makes the white kids feel bad when you talk about that type of stuff. Well, Donald Trump came out today and said that, hey man, we just need to end that. It is what it is, And even, for those that's, in Texas who know about Beto O'Rourke, even Beto O'Rourke co-signed that, saying that he wants to end CRT. So many of us, man, we play off of our emotions. We hear what's said on the news, and we don't take the time to go out and research it for ourselves. Come on CNN, or you hear a quick headline story on Fox 4, Fox, or CBS, or whatever the case may be, NBC. Then all of a sudden you run with the headline, but you don't understand the main details. You don't go do no research. We don't pick up a book, go through Wikipedia. We don't, find out a person's lineage. We don't do none of that. We just go with the headline and say, oh, Donald Trump, they rally and they racist. So we got it. But then when you find out, hey, man, he had a $500 billion legislation that he was going to pass when he got reelected to help Black businesses. Oh, he was? He was going to do that? Oh, he did fund the Black colleges? Oh, that's right. We did get them PPP loans because of Donald Trump. Like, bro, come on now, be real. And that's all I'm saying. Like, do your homework. When we sat up there and talked about Kamala Harris, coming into office. Yeah, it was cool because you had the AKA Kamala Harris, XYZ. But when you looked into her legislation and the things that she passed, she had a lot of iffy stuff that she did in her past towards the Black community. And then, of course, she's married to the white man, which, like we said before, is not really a major issue. It is, but it's not really a major issue if your white partner doesn't mind you being your race. If your white partner tells you, hey, man, I know you Black, and you going to marry me, you're going to have to cut that bliggity Black out. But if your white partner say, hey, baby, you Black, why you ain't out there marching with them? Or why you not fighting for this legislation? Then that's a difference. But if they're trying to make you conform XYZ, then, it is what it is. And you deserve to be called out. And just like with the Ketanji Jackson lady, we talked about Ketanji Jackson. Yeah, all the Black people who just saw it on the news, saw that Ketanji Jackson, oh, that's a strong Black name, Ketanji. Yeah, she got to be for us. But then when you reach into her background, what? She married to a white dude too. Not only she married to a white dude, she has questionable legislation she done. You had the Black employees file the lawsuit, the class action lawsuit against Lockheed Martin. You had a Lockheed Martin employee who was screaming out that white supremacist stuff, go inside Lockheed Martin, shoot up and kill some Black employees, and they end up filing a lawsuit against Lockheed Martin. Well, Ketanji Brown Jackson, or Ketanji Jackson, I'm going to call her Ketanji Jackson. She was the judge presiding over that settlement, and she threw it out. Y'all. So, we don't do our homework enough to really kind of call these people out. But they feel like you black, you gonna support Democrats anyway. You're not gonna think, you just gonna do what you told to do. And just like right now here in Texas, the judge just blocked the little bill because they got these trans kids, and these Democrats down here, they pushing it to where trans kids should be able to go get trans kids. So that's what I mean, under 18. So you could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You consider the kid, right? Well, these kids who want to be trans can go have sex changes, can take puberty enhancing pills where they can stop their puberty or enhance their puberty, or they can have a sex change. Well, Greg Abbott, the governor down here, had tried to file some legislation to stop this, to say we need to investigate the parents who are doing this, because this could be child abuse. If you over here telling a 10-year-old you can have a sex change, I don't know, but from my perspective, man, that to me could be considered child abuse, because you 10 years old, you don't need to be doing nothing sexually to no 10-year-old, right? But the Democrats were pushing that here in the state of Texas, and Greg Abbott tried to stop it, but let them tell it. Oh, Greg Abbott, oh my God, Greg Abbott, he bad. He racist. Hey man, I'm not saying that the dude may not be, but I just know that when it comes down to legislation and what people actually do, he was trying to stop the immigration, trying to get that wall back up, stop the immigration. He's also, about that COVID stuff. He's like, man, y'all watch that. I ain't taking no COVID shot. Y'all watch that vaccine. And then, so you really kind of compare a lot of these more conservative ideas, to me, line up with old school black mindsets. Now this new black stuff, where you run out the NBA young boy, you praising these rappers like, what they saying ain't wrong. Like I grew up off of A-Ball, MJG, Pimp C, Pop, of course, Pimp C, UGK, just a plethora, Willie D, Ghetto Boys, all this stuff, man. I used to jam all this. But now that I'm an older man, and I realize that a lot of this stuff, bro, is not what's up. I wouldn't want my child listening to it. I wouldn't want my daughter mimicking those behaviors, so I have to be honest with myself. To each his own. If that's what you with and that's what you want your people to do, then that's you. But if I'm honest with myself, that's not the road that I want my family or friends to go down. So when it comes down, to, paying attention to legislation and who you listening to, what you voting for, you need to make sure that you're doing your research, and not just vote for somebody because you heard the headline news and you ain't picked up nothing and read the details. So anyways, man, feel free to come support my Shopify channel. That's www.ondaedge, that's ONDAEDGE .myshopify.com. But the link is in the description, man. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you appreciate the content. You do, you don't. I understand. But I hope everybody stays blessed. Continue to hold it down. Y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. We gotta try to make a change, black people. Not saying I ain't speaking to other people that ain't black, but definitely since I am on the black team, we definitely need to try to make a change. And be careful, man. All these people talking about this, the Pan-Africanism, even like the FBAs, and the division, things that divide us. Is people will try to divide you to keep you off focus, off the main task. Now I listen to Tariq, I listen to the Pan Africanism Strikes Back, I listen to Black Truth, all these guys. But at the end of the day, and even Officer Tatum, but at the end of the day, they all are arguing with each other. But guess what? They all have the same pretty much ideas as far as who to vote for, what they want for the people. And I think that that's just like with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They had different ways to get there, but they wanted the same thing. So don't let the minuscule, differences take you away and divide our people, man. Because a lot of us are spending time arguing behind small differences, and then we allow that to not unify us. So anyway, so be careful when you out here listening to that and playing to the left or playing to the right. Think about the ultimate goal, the ultimate objective, in which we typically have the same mindset. We all want our families to be taken care of financially and be protected. We all want to live healthier and have good education and good housing. So, we all may have different ways on how to get it done, but we all want the same thing. So anyway, stay blessed, hold it down. Man, I'm out. Chill.